The secret symphony of the wild. This morning, the quelling of everyone was asleep, or might be my accidental entry into the forest made me out of the buzz of daily life. The rose scent spreaded all around where dew drops tipping the grass, kissing it with ruptures. Their low-frequency sound was not unheard due to extra silence and cool surrounding arena. The air was still, but there was something in it, a hum, a gentle vibration that I couldn't quite place. It wasn't until I paused beneath an ancient oak that I heard it, faint and fleeting, like a whisper in the wind. Initially, I was all ears and absorbed. It induced a picture inside me like roses of sky were wavering around, wind touching their nodes with tender delight, and air after the touches incited in love. The message of love conveyed to leaves, they started rustling, birds on trees were mesmerized to music and started talking each other like song in the air. This worldly paradise was seemed a gift of God to whom my met was accidental. It was a symphony, soft yet profound, weaving through the branches and settling in the air around me. Then, with a suddenness that made me gasp, I realized, it was the animals. I could hear them, understand them. Their voices, once a distant murmur, now rang out like a hidden melody, a secret language I had never known existed. The owl was sitting on my shoulders as it wanted to communicate. His golden eyes pierced through the morning mist, and his voice was slow and deep, like the creak of an old door. Time, he hooted, is but a breath on the wind. To linger in the past is to waste the present. His words echoed in my mind, reverberating with the wisdom of centuries. The owl was a symbol of wisdom, its voice a steady cadence, urging me to let go of the things I could not change. As I moved deeper into the woods, a sudden rustle caught my attention. From the underbrush, a swift hare darted out, its movement quick and graceful. It stopped before me, its nose twitching, eyes wide with excitement. "Life is fleeting," it whispered, its voice like the rustling of dry leaves. "Moments are like stars in the sky, brief, yet dazzling. Don't waste them." The hare's words danced in the air, filling me with a sense of urgency. It spoke of epiphany, the sudden realization that the present is all we truly have. Its message was clear: live in the moment, for it is all that is guaranteed. Further along the path, the majestic lion emerged from the shadows, its mane glowing in the sunlight like a golden crown. It padded toward me with deliberate steps, each movement a picture of strength and grace. When it spoke, its voice was a deep, powerful rumble, like thunder rolling across the plains. "Fear not the storms," it said, "for they shape the mountains. Courage lies not in the absence of fear, but in facing it head-on." The lion's words were a revelation, a roar of courage that shook me to my core. His voice was not just a sound but a force, an echo of bravery that reverberated in my chest. I wandered on, lost in thought, when I heard a soft, sibilant whisper. A serpent, coiled in the grass, slithered closer, its scales gleaming like polished stones in the sunlight. Its voice was low, almost hypnotic. "Strength is not found in rigidness," it hissed, "but in adaptation. To survive, you must be willing to shed what no longer serves you." The serpent's wisdom was like the shedding of its skin, a symbol of resilience. It taught me that resilience wasn't about standing firm against the winds of change but about bending and flowing with them, like a river that carves its way through rock. As the day wore on, I came to the edge of the woods, where a songbird sat perched on a branch, its feathers luminous in the fading light. It sang a melody so pure, so full of hope, that I felt my heart lift. Even in the darkest hours, it sang, there is a song to be found. Hope is the thread that ties the soul to the stars. The bird's voice was a symphony of hope, its melody rising and falling like the waves of the ocean. It reminded me that no matter how lost we feel, there is always light at the end of the tunnel, always a reason to keep going. By the time the sun began to sink behind the horizon, I felt different, as though the animal's words had woven themselves into the very fabric of my being. I had discovered not just the secret language of the wild, but a deeper truth about life itself. Each creature had offered me a piece of wisdom, a harmony of lessons that now echoed in my mind like a hidden melody, waiting to be understood. The owl's wisdom, the hare's urgency, the lion's courage, the serpent's resilience, and the songbird's hope had all become part of me. As I left the woods, the world around me seemed brighter, fuller, alive with the whispers of nature. I smiled, knowing I would never walk through the forest the same way again. The secret symphony of the wild was no longer a mystery, it was a part of me, a language I could always hear, as long as I chose to listen. Literary devices used. Alliteration. The lion's loud lament lingered in the luminous light. Metaphor. The animal's words were described as a hidden melody, and a symphony, emphasizing the mystical, poetic nature of their communication. Personification. The wind was described as whispering secrets, giving it human-like qualities. Symbolism. Each animal symbolized different life lessons: wisdom, owl, living in the moment, hare, courage, lion, resilience, serpent, and hope, songbird. Imagery. Descriptive language like golden crown for the lion's mane and luminous feathers for the songbird create vivid mental images. Repetition. The phrase secret symphony is repeated to emphasize the central theme of hidden communication with the natural world.